welcome back to Baby Bump Life. I want to take some time to talk to you all about epidurals today. Something that's becoming more and more common. It's almost more common than moms going natural these days. When should you get an epidural? When you're typically about 3 to 4 centimeters is when your doctor or your nurse midwife will give the order or approval for you to get the epidural. So they like you to be going towards the active stages of labor. Because if we get you the epidural and you're 1 centimeter, if you remember from other videos, you could be 1 centimeter for a full 24 hours. And once you get the epidural, you are in bed. So we don't want to slow down the labor by keeping you in bed any longer than you need to be. So we like for you to be towards the active stages of labor. I will talk about your pain management options before that as far as IV pain medication goes in another video. But for now, as far as the epidural, so they like you to be 3 or 4 centimeters. Now, when should you get the epidural? Well, only you know your pain level, so you let us know when it's becoming no longer tolerable for you, or when you're reaching that 8, 9, 10 out of 10 pain level that's no longer tolerable for you during your labor. And if it's not something that you're wanting to go natural, then you just let us know and be in good communication with your nurse. Some things to keep in mind with an epidural: the anesthesiologist will come into the room, they'll go over your history, you'll fill out a little form, and you'll want to make sure you tell them everything. I mean, were you in a car accident or did you have an injury to your back? You want to let them know that. Do you take blood thinners, and did you take your blood thinning medication, just a couple hours ago? You need to tell them that. So it is a special procedure. They want to know everything about you. They're going to go over your allergies as well. They want to know everything. So sometimes it's hard when you're in a lot of pain to communicate all of that with them, but they like to know that. The other thing that most anesthesiologists want to know, they usually want your lab work to come back. When you get to the hospital, they'll draw blood work on you, and they're doing that because they need to see certain levels. The anesthesiologists typically like that blood work to come back before you get the epidural. So that's something else to kind of keep in mind when you're thinking about time frame. The other thing with the epidural, we know that sometimes the medication that they give you through the epidural can lower your blood pressure. So we give you a bunch of fluids through your IV to raise your blood pressure so that we can kind of even out. So a lot of moms are like, where's the anesthesiologist? I want my epidural. Where are they? Where are they? Well, we need to get your IV and get a bunch of fluids in you, and then we also need to wait for that lab work to come back. So those are two things that anesthesiologists are kind of sticklers on, but it's all for your health. So there's a good reason for it. It's not just for fun or just because. There is a reason that they do that. When it is time to get the epidural, we've got the fluids, we've got your labs back, the anesthesiologist is in the room, they've gone all over your history and your allergies and everything there is to know about you. The next thing you want to do is to get into the position that they would like you to be in. So there's usually one of two positions. They'll have you lie sideways on the bed with your back facing towards them. That one's not as common. Usually the more common position, they like you sitting on the side of the bed with your back facing towards them, and they want you to think terrible posture. You want to be having almost your chin touch your belly button if that were possible. So you want to be all the way hunched over and trying to put your hands in between your legs and just kind of curling around baby. What does that do? Well, that helps to open up the epidural space right where they're going into your back, and it makes it really easy for them to go in there. So if you're in a lot of pain and you waited a while to get your epidural just because, and you're not able to hold still and you're kind of in this position while they're trying to do it, that makes it very hard. I've even seen some anesthesiologists who refuse to give the epidural because mom can't hold still. They don't want to cause you any harm or put you at risk of any complications. So you do have to be able to hold still. So I tell a lot of moms who are considering getting an epidural and they're not sure when to get it, like, well, maybe I'll wait till I'm 6 centimeters or 8 centimeters. Well, why? There's no reason for you to wait that long. We like the 3 or 4 centimeters, but there's is no golden star that you get for waiting to be 6 or 7 centimeters before getting the epidurals. If you have it, if you have that chance, get it when you can. The other thing is, sometimes if you wait and wait just because you wanted to, and the anesthesiologist is now in an emergency C-section in the back, you may kind of be going natural now, not because you wanted to, but because you have to if the anesthesiologist isn't around. So be in communication with your nurse. I can't tell you that enough, because they know what's going on the floor. Not always can they predict if an emergency happens and the anesthesiologist has to go into the OR, but a lot of times they can kind of help, and they know a better timing for you as to when you can get it. Those are just a few things about epidurals. I know a lot of moms are really nervous to get them. Don't hesitate to ask the anesthesiologist any questions that you have. Write down the questions ahead of time, and then that way when you're in labor and you're unsure of these things, you can think, oh, let me look back. Let me look at my list here of questions I had for you. They would be happy to answer those questions, I'm sure. I hope that helps you guys, and if there's any questions I can answer for you, please leave those below. Please leave any comments. Till next time, everyone, I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you, and have a good day. And also, if you would like your very own Baby Bump Life shirt, check out the link below, and don't hesitate to get yours today and to represent Baby Bump Life. I would appreciate that so much, and I will talk to you guys very soon.